Hey everybody, ForbiddenXL here, and welcome to a new video. So I want to do a build guide on my Bleed Spectral Shield Throw Gladiator. I got my 2 Void Stones just from killing Eater and Exarch, and then I finished my 10-way Maven Invitation. So I'm at tier 16 maps right now. I haven't done, shape or anything like that. I did fight the pirate boss in King's March, so, really wasn't that hard. It's just, figuring out the mechanics and dodging stuff in there. And I was able to do it with Deathless, so that was really nice. And make sure to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the video. As usual, we'll go over the gear, the gems, the skill tree, and then we'll head over to Path of Building. Alright, so for the hatchet, this is the same hatchet that I used in the crafting guide video. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link to it up there in the corner. But increased physical damage over time, it's a Warlord mod. And then I got lucky, got some name on hit. The actual increased physical damage doesn't help, and then crafted physical damage over time multiplier. The better option would be to also get damage over time multiplier on the weapon, and then craft physical damage over time multiplier. Or if I wasn't poor, clean this up because it's multi-mod it, like I showed in the other video. But that's what I got. It works great. For the helmet, the Eldritch Implicits, I'm not running any red altars, so I literally have no Syrian Exarch currency, and I don't really feel like buying it. I'm still pretty poor, so I've just been kind of rolling it as it drops. It's literally just life. I got T1 life regeneration, which is super helpful as well. T1 lightning res, T4 fire res. Trying to get rarity as much as I can on my gear because supposedly, and it does seem like it did make a little bit of a difference, does help with gold. So this helped out a lot. Keeping my town running because it's expensive. For the amulet, just strength intelligence, because you do kind of need that on your gear. And then I just got one that had some rarity on it and some damage over time multiplier. For the shield, I actually just used recombinators on this like 2 days ago. I spent way too much gold and blue dust to try to craft this, but it came out. It worked finally, and I was actually lucky enough to get T3 chance to avoid elemental ailment, so I am actually elemental ailment immune with only having to take 1 point on the skill tree. T1, T2, T1. It's 1311 and 1331. It's relatively cheap. Because of, I'm sure people are probably pulling these out of the boat right now, right? It's like 1 or 2 divines. We'll do just 1300 on both of them and take the res off. See, yeah, 2, 3 divines, right? And you throw this on there, it'll probably be a lot more expensive. So, not super expensive for what the build can do. For rings, we're literally just doing res. Hopefully some life if I can get it on there. I guess I probably could craft. No, I can't. There's no open prefix. Chaos res, any kind of res that you can get that you need, try to get capped on chaos res as best you can. Same thing for the other one, amethyst ring. That's it, right? Just res and life. For the body armor, I actually bought this like a few days ago for like 5 chaos from somebody. They were, I don't know. I was just trying to get spell suppression capped, and then I realized currency-wise, it's way too hard to get spell suppression capped on this build. No, but it has life and has some chaos res on it, and it did have an open prefix, so I was able to craft the 25% chance to avoid elemental ailments, which is another portion of getting elemental ailment immune. That's it. Just, some life and some chaos res. Chance to block attack damage taken recouped as life. For this one, the physical damage taken as any kind of elemental damage is super helpful, but the Syrian Exarch implicit does absolutely nothing, obviously. Vulnerability on hit. Or vulnerability curse effect is what I'm going for, which I'll get it eventually. For the gloves, these ones are the ones that you actually do want. Physical damage over time multiplier. I actually bought these gloves just with that on it. The worm scale gauntlets with that already on the gear, and then I crafted the gear on that as well. I'm pretty sure I just literally chaos spammed it a couple times until I got some res and got lucky and got lifed, and then crafted the projectiles pierce an additional target. So you get 2 pierces. Spectral shield throw itself doesn't pierce, but the shards that it kicks out do, so it helps a lot with clear. For the belt, same thing, res, life, the flash charges gained, helps a lot as well. Rustic sash is global physical damage, so once again it helps your build and your damage. For these, literally just needed chance to avoid elemental ailments, and then movement speed. That was all I was going for. And then I just spammed them until I got bleeding. You inflict deals damage faster. I don't use golems, so once again the Syrian Exarch modifier is useless. For the flasks, my flasks are pretty terrible. It's corrupted blood immunity, life flask, jade flask with armor on it, Quicksilver Flask with damage leeches life. Just a Quartz Flask. The elemental resistances don't matter. I'm already overcapped on resistances, but just to get that phasing helps a lot because I'm shield charging. And if I stop or something and I'm phasing, then I don't die. And as far as the Granite Flask goes, I'm already immune to being stunned, so this one's pointless, but I ran out of alterations when I was spamming it, so this is what it is, right? Build still works great. This is very, very low budget. I would say total invested maybe like 2 or 3 divines because I crafted the majority of this myself. I didn't, like I said, I did buy the gloves, I bought the belt, and the boots. So I think altogether they were like 30 chaos or something. So, you know, the divine for crafting this, which now you can buy a runic hatchet for like 1 chaos, which is exactly what I did here. Item level 85 runic hatchet, already warlord influenced. So I just wasted a divine. It's kind of dumb on me on that one, but 10 chaos now. Maybe paid 5 chaos or something for it. So the build's gonna get cheaper because you don't have to drop a divine on a warlord orb. You can just buy the runic hatchet, which will give you more damage. All right, so for the gems, and here we're just using Bladestorm, Coin Strike, and Maim Support. Sold this from Zizaran specifically. Just it's an easy way to cull. Culling's great, and then you get some Maim on there if you want to use it a little bit during a boss fight or on a tough rare. Get him maimed a little bit while you're hitting him with Spectral Shield Throw. Here, just Flame Dash, Arcanist Brand with Vulnerability, and then Vitality. Arcanist Brand's just nice, so you don't have to manually, you know, aim as close to an enemy. You just throw down a brand and it'll attach to it. Cash from damage taken with Molten Shell, pretty standard. Blood Rage, use when you're mapping so that you can frenzy charges. Helps you shield charge faster. So Brutality linked to Spectral Shield Throw, Volatility, Cruelty, Swift Affliction, and Vicious Projectiles. Don't have any Awakened Gems, and it's working just fine. So for the shield charge itself, which is the majority of what I do when I map, literally just shield charge around, hit some enemies, some rares or something like that with a Spectral Shield Throw, and then obviously bosses do Spectral Shield Throw. But shield charge linked to melee physical damage, fortify, and faster attacks for a lot of bosses. Because you are super tanky, you can literally just stand there and shield charge and it'll build you up to 20 stacks of fortify, and then it makes you super tanky as well. So I usually will do that, get up to 20 stacks, go around, hit them with Spectral Shield Throw a couple times. When they start to fall off, go do it again. And then Urgent Orders, Enduring Cry, Eternal Blessing, linked to Pride. So we only have, we have technically 2 auras. We're only reserving like 200 mana because we get Pride for free. Alright, so as far as skill tree goes, I'm level 90 right now. The only jewel I have in here is just this one, just for Corrupt Blood immunity. Was it? A little bit of strength, dexterity. Pretty sure I can still use all my gear without it. So a little bit of block spell damage while you're holding the shield. That one's super helpful. But yeah, you just kind of come down here, work your way around. I'll just try to take all the damage over time. Multiplier, bleeding damage, increased bleeding damage, damage with bleeding, I mean bleeding duration, all of these. Unwavering stance, so you're not stunned, which is nice. We just can't evade. Whatever, right? We're blocking everything anyways. Converts all evasion to evasion rating to armor, so that you can't evade, but you're getting hybrid gear, and you just get more armor. Get as many endurance charges as you can. I'm at 5 right now. Endurance charges are the way to go. Now I did this one down here. You get another minimum endurance charge, you get damage per endurance charge, and then it's just more of a chance to gain endurance charges so you can keep them up. Versatile combatant. So this might seem bad, but it is actually really good. It's way easy to get a lot of overcapped attack block. It's really hard to get a spell block. So it does actually make up for it. So right now I'm at 68, 63. If I blocked recently, I think it's like 90, 83 or something like that. I'll show it in Path Building. But yeah, so here's the tree, right? It'll be in the Path of Building, so you can kind of see what all it is. I'm not going to go over it too much. As far as the ascendancies go, so you're going to want to take this first. If you're leveling this build, you'll want to level Sunder, and then this does so much damage, it's insane, right? You're literally 20% of their life. It's not a percent to explode enemies, like a lot of, like Hinakor's Death Fury is. They just explode every time you kill them. And then come down here, Aggravated. But always deal higher damage as though the target was moving. If you don't know how bleeding works, basically you should. if you've been playing this game, even if you're new and like you start running and then you start dying and you're not really getting hit by anything. It's because you bleed faster when you move in the game. So this makes the enemies move, even if they're not moving. Attack speed, block speed, right? Determined survivor. 50% chance of block from equipped shield instead of the shield's value. So you just flat 50% chance to block. It's phenomenal. Some more block attack damage, and then chance to block, attack, or spell damage is lucky if you've blocked recently, which is how you get to that 90, 80 something percent block chance. Alright, so path of building, we got 436,000 effective hit pool. That's with Fortify up. 26,000 Fizz max hit. I don't really die a lot. I died a lot in the campaign just because I'm terrible at not dying in the campaign, which is why I don't play hardcore. But once I got my gear up, I rarely ever die, honestly. Really good survivability. Almost 5,000 life. Net recovery is 625, which is pretty good, right? 30,000 armor, 90% Fizz reduction, 90% block chance, 86% spell block chance, a little bit of spell suppression, which I guess it helps a little bit. 56% chaos res. I'm going to try to get that to 75 somehow, some way. 1.6 million DPS, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? You see builds on YouTube and they have, you know, 30, 50 million DPS, and you're like, 1 billion DPS, 1.6 is pretty terrible, but it's bleed, so it does a lot of damage and just hit something once, you know, and it bleeds. Right? With shield charge alone, we're doing 697,000 damage. I'm going to run a map real quick so you can see that 697,000 damage does actually do a lot of damage when every single enemy that you hit that dies explodes. And it kills everything around them. Super easy for clear. For configuration, you know, you're using frenzy charges if you're using blood magic. Or I mean blood rage. You're using endurance charges, you're fortified, so if you can see, fortifies off. It's a pretty significant difference. I guess I'm technically not using adrenaline. I was using death rush in here, so that's probably why adrenaline's on. But that shouldn't change too significant. I mean, it's like 300,000. So you could use death rush if you want to use that instead of another ring, and then you do get adrenaline, and that will add a decent amount of damage. No mana burn, and just we're using Lunaris for physical damage reduction, and then Growthful for more physical damage reduction. Times you've been hit. So have you blocked recently, which is the lucky block, right? So 90, 86. For the first time, you will have a 68% chance, 63% chance. But once you block every 4 seconds, then it'll be lucky. Brands, maximum effect, because if you're fighting a boss, you should probably be standing close to them. But you know, use about 200,000 damage if you're just kind of roaming around. Make sure your enemy's moving, enemy's bleeding. Right. It's a very significant difference. I don't think the aggravate actually just defaults to make it so that the enemy is moving. You know, otherwise, that wouldn't actually do anything because the game path of building would calculate that they are moving. So if your damage seems really crazy, then that's probably why. They are maimed, and then I guess we're not technically intimidated anymore from the old belt that I used to have. So yeah, that's path building. Alright, so I'll just run just a random roll T16 Burial Chambers map, right? Nothing crazy, no scarabs, nothing like that. We'll just use Eater altars as far as my skill tree goes that I'm running right now. Nothing special, right? Just gonna get some maps. I do Expedition. Doing the easy / hard Eater thing, right? Just to try and get quantity and really just trying to make currency. The whole goal. Right? As I said, though, it's super simple. I'll try and... I'm not going to run through the whole map. I might just do a little bit of it and then skip to the boss so I can show you that. But, cool. This is a whole other question, right? The Viridian Wildwood. This is... I don't know, I'm going to make a whole separate video on that, but it's a waste of time. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you've had luck with it in the past, by all means, you know, let me know in the comments. You've had great experiences with the Wildwood, because I have not. It's not worth the time it takes to run around and, you know, dig through the mist. It used to be, right? It was such a great league. Like, so good. Now it's terrible. As I said, you know, maybe somebody's had great luck with it. I've gotten thousands of purple and blue mist, which, if you don't know, if you didn't play Affliction League, I can't remember the name, but if you didn't play Affliction League, basically, I think it's purple does quantity, or purple does quality, blue does currency, and yellow does quantity. Could be the other way around. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I got like 5,000 combined wisps, and I dropped absolutely nothing. Like, nothing. Not even a I think I might have dropped one Chaos Orb. And if you played Affliction League, then you will remember you got 5,000 wisps, like you were going to have a real good day in your map. Even if you weren't doing the whole crazy additional projectile roll, abyss, Stygian Spire strategy that everybody was doing that was super broken. They left it in the game for some reason, even though they like to take super profitable stuff out of the game now. It's their game, they can do what they want, right? Yeah. Hopefully they fix it, because I loved Affliction League. It was so much fun. Just, you know, it's cool. It's a little, another layer of the game where you're like, okay, well, I gotta come in here and I gotta try and, you know, it's a triangle or it's a diamond or whatever, so, like, I gotta figure out how to, you know, best utilize my juice that I have, and, it was super fun. But, I was so excited when I was like, oh man, I got 2,500 purple, and like 2,600 blue, and I was like, well, this is gonna be a good map. Like, I'm gonna get a divine at least. No, nothing. Alright, I guess this is a pretty quick map, so I hate this boss, but so throw down Arcanist Brand. Hit it with Spectral Shield throw. If you're starting to die, just kind of run away because it will continue to bleed. That's it. Alright. That's it, you know. It's not a ton of damage. You're not one-shotting map bosses. You can stand here and take some damage. If you want to, you can literally just follow them around and shield charge them to get your, you know, fortify stacks up if you want to do that. Just make sure you throw the Arcanist Brand on so you do CR cursing them with vulnerability. There's the guy's Soul Eater, so. Or she has Soul Eater. It's gonna be a little slow. You can see here. Not in any. No risk of dying. It's a very slow process, though. I actually feel like I was doing more damage to the pirate boss. Actually, it took about the same time to kill him, actually. But it's a very, very, very slow process to kill certain map bosses. I could probably try to lure over here to get some explode, which can speed up the process a lot, because then you get that 20% life explosion from minions, from little random mobs. But oh, that actually almost killed me. It's definitely hardcore viable. If you don't believe me, just watch Zizern. He wasn't died, and we're at like day 10 or something like that. 11, something, I don't know. That was it. Super simple. Shield charge around. Use Spectral Shield throw on any kind of rares, map bosses, stuff like that, and you'll have a great time. It works great with Blight. It works pretty good with almost any league mechanic. Legion's okay, I guess. Harvest is fine because you're doing distant damage, and then the explosions are super good for Harvest as well. Expedition's great as well. I could have done the Expedition, I just didn't feel like it. Anything that has large packs of monsters very close together, you just got to kill one of them basically, and it'll generally kill the whole pack. Yeah, that was it. I hope you're enjoying the league. I really am. You know, there are always things about leagues that some people like, some people don't like. I think the league mechanic itself is super fun. I think maybe they should be a little more generous with that gold in maps. You don't have to run T17 maps to even sustain your town. That's a whole other story. Alright, well, if you did enjoy the video, please give it a like, and if you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing.